Welcome to this journey. If you happen to hear this voice today, pause for a moment, because this is not a coincidence. Something is calling your name, a frequency ancient and distant, yet it reaches you exactly when your soul needs it most. Can you feel it? The air is changing. A new energy is moving around you, gentle as wind, yet powerful as fire. And if you listen closely, you'll sense that the universe is sending a signal, a sacred warning meant only for Aries. Everything is about to shift, not because of the world outside, but because something deep within you is finally ready to awaken. Keep your heart open, because right now, we're stepping into the very first layer of this journey where the cosmic warning call waits for your answer. Aries. When this sound reaches your ears, something in the air begins to tremble with it. It isn't just this voice you're hearing, it's a pulse from far away, from a place your soul once knew, the place where it made its first promise to the light. The world around you might seem still, quiet, ordinary. But in the unseen space, millions of tiny particles are moving, colliding, creating a call meant only for you. Maybe these past few nights, you've been restless, wide awake while the world sleeps. Your heart beats harder than usual. You sense something approaching, but you can't quite name it. Don't try to push that feeling away. It isn't anxiety. It's an awakening signal. The universe is speaking through frequency, and you, the fire sign, the pioneer soul, are being called back to your true position. Listen to the silence between two breaths. There's a voice inside that quiet saying, it's time. Time to release what has made your heart heavy. Time to step out of the shadows of doubt and trust that the light you've been chasing is finally finding its way to you. The universe never chooses wrong. It's only been waiting for you to be calm enough to lift your head and receive the message that's always been yours. The energy around you is changing. Like the sky before a storm, there's a strange stillness, electric, emotional, alive. You might feel a shiver run through your body, as if you're standing between two worlds, the old and the awakening. And right there, in that fragile space between, if you exhale slowly, you'll hear it, the universe responding to you. Don't fear this turbulence, Aries. When great energy moves through a soul, it always shakes the ground. But in that shaking, what isn't real begins to fall away softly, like leaves drifting off a branch. You don't have to force anything, just keep your heart still enough to hear what's arriving. And then, in a moment that feels almost accidental, something opens. A small doorway, a faint light, just enough to make you realize that someone or something is moving toward you. A powerful presence, yet not frightening. A step of divine justice, tapping gently at the door of your destiny. Let your shoulders relax, because what comes next isn't a warning. It's an arrival one that has been written in your stars long before this lifetime, a sign that heaven has begun to move. And when it does, the whole world around you shifts its colors as if dawn were breaking, even while night still lingers. Now, slow your breathing. Feel the warmth spreading through your chest. That's not just emotion, it's light moving inside you. Because right after this breath, when your spirit is ready, the hand of cosmic justice will begin to unfold the true story, the one your soul has been waiting a lifetime to hear. There are moments in life when time seems to stop. The noise of the world fades away, the rush of living disappears, and all that's left is silence deep enough for you to hear the footsteps of destiny drawing near. Within that stillness, something begins to approach. Not a person, but a force invisible, yet perfectly ordered. Something the ancients once called divine justice. You may not see it, but you can feel it. Somehow, things around you start to rearrange. Lies reveal themselves. Truths once hidden step into the light. What looks random isn't random at all. Every move, every shift is a deliberate hand of the universe, placing each piece where it belongs. And right at the center of it all, you are not a victim. You are the focus of a sacred correction. In the past months, someone may have tried to silence you. They twisted your image, told stories that weren't true, used misunderstanding as a weapon to shape how others saw you. You felt wounded, maybe even hopeless. But listen carefully, the universe does not allow truth to stay buried forever. When the moment arrives, light always finds its way even through 1,000 layers of darkness. A powerful energy is now stepping into your life. It isn't coming to judge you, it's coming to reveal what has been concealed. It may appear as a person, an event, or a circumstance that forces truth to the surface. Don't be afraid. This is not punishment, it's part of a divine order your soul agreed to long before this lifetime began. When justice arrives, you won't need to defend yourself. Everything will speak on your behalf. What once caused you anxiety will become proof of your innocence. Truth doesn't shout, it only needs a single moment to be seen. And when that happens, you'll know you were never alone. Invisible hands have always been guiding the current, making sure everything unfolds exactly as it should. Keep your spirit calm, even when the storm begins to rise. This storm isn't here to destroy, it's here to cleanse, to wash away the dust that's been covering your path. Divine justice doesn't sound like human justice. It doesn't come with noise or announcements. It moves in silence, but when it passes through, it leaves light behind. You may notice familiar faces begin to change. Those who once turned away will fall quiet. Even those who spoke against you may bow their heads. Don't let that fill you with pride. See it instead as the natural cleansing of the universe. When justice comes, falsehoods dissolve and truth rises. Don't seek revenge. Heaven already handled that for you. Don't explain yourself. Light reveals more than any words ever could. Your only task now is to keep your heart steady, like a lamp standing still in the wind. Let others look at you and see the peace of a soul that has learned to trust the goodness of life itself. And one day, maybe during a quiet walk at sunset, or while listening to soft rain on the roof, you'll realize something has changed. The fear is gone. The anger has melted away. All that's left is the calm knowing of someone who understands. True justice never needs to knock. It always finds the soul worthy of its touch. From that place, a new chapter begins, soft as breath, natural as a river changing course. You don't need to know what's coming next. Just know that light is approaching. And everything you've just lived through was only the prelude to a deeper awakening, where the soul finally understands that justice never comes to punish. It comes to set you free. Sometimes, light doesn't arrive as a gentle sunbeam. It comes like a blade cutting through the curtain of night. And when true light appears, it doesn't just illuminate, it reveals. In that moment, nothing can hide anymore. Everything, the lies, the forced smiles, the relationships you thought were real begins to melt away, exposing what has always been true beneath the surface. Do you remember that feeling when someone once said they trusted you, cared for you, and then you discovered it was only a mask? That chill didn't come from winter. It came from the shattering of trust. Yet here's the paradox: that very betrayal was a call from the universe, forcing you to see clearly what is real and what is false. The strongest souls are not born in comfort. They are awakened by impact. There was a time you wondered why you were misunderstood, manipulated, or silenced. You tried to explain, to defend yourself, but every word vanished into the wind. Now, you don't have to do anything. The universe is taking over. The real picture is being redrawn. Each false color washed away, and the very acts meant to harm you are becoming proof of your integrity. Everything is unfolding slowly, yet with divine precision. Some will confess, some secrets will rise to the surface, and careless words will reveal what they meant to hide. There's no need to rush. Truth is never late. It comes exactly when your heart is calm enough to receive it without hatred. And when the curtain finally falls, you'll see everything clearly. You'll look into the eyes of those who deceived you and feel no anger. They'll seem smaller, not because you've grown taller, but because true light never needs to prove itself. In that moment, you'll understand forgiveness isn't weakness, it's freedom. When truth is revealed, it doesn't just clear your name, it liberates your soul. It shows you the most precious truth of all. No one can take your light from you unless you decide you no longer deserve it. And now, after everything, you stand upright, no longer trembling. Your heart carries cracks, yes. But through those cracks, light has found its way in. Life has its own way of teaching honesty. Sometimes that lesson arrives through loss. But with every tear, you've learned something sacred. Truth doesn't need to be protected. It only needs to be lived. And once it lives within you, no one can ever dim that light again. So don't look back. The falsehoods have already dissolved like morning mist under the sun. Look forward to the place where light no longer blinds but enlightens. You're stepping into a rebirth where only what is real remains. Real people, real bonds, your real self. Because in the revelation of truth, no one is punished, only souls are healed. And when you finally accept that, something miraculous begins. In the quiet space between two breaths, you'll feel something approaching, gentle, yet deep, like the whisper of wind through the forest, carrying the warmth of new faith. A movement begins, not to expose, but to open, as if the universe itself were softly inviting you to step deeper into the story, where light doesn't just shine on your path, it becomes the path itself. Silence is not avoidance, it is the deepest state of wisdom. When the world grows loud, when people rush to speak about what they don't yet understand, the wise step back, listening for what others can't hear, the voice of heaven. That stillness isn't weakness. It's an invisible power, a quiet current strong enough to turn the tide of any situation. Lately, you may have felt the urge to speak, to explain, to prove your truth. But sometimes, the more you speak, the more truth becomes tangled in the echo of emotion. The universe is asking you to stop, to let justice reveal itself through the work of light, not through human words. Because when you fall silent, heaven begins to speak for you. Silence doesn't mean indifference. It's trust, trust in the natural order of all things. There are movements happening in the unseen where eyes cannot reach, energies shifting, exchanging places, realigning so that balance can be restored. Like clouds gathering before a great rain, these movements need patience, not interference. Silence is the space where the universe does its work. Inside that sacred space, you are protected, guided, and healed from the chaos of human noise. A single word spoken out of timing could close the door of justice. Too soon could shift the current away from where it needs to go. So let stillness be your armor, light as mist, strong as stone. Every time you choose silence over argument, you create a clear field of energy around your soul. Within it, nothing can invade, nothing can steal your peace. In that clarity, everything becomes visible, clearer, truer, and piece by piece, life begins to fall into place, naturally, without effort, without explanation. Some truths only reveal themselves when you stop trying to speak them aloud, because when the heart is still, the hidden becomes visible. The ancients called it the way of quietude, a realm where words cannot reach, but light can pass through. When you enter that silence, you are no longer someone waiting for justice. You become a part of justice itself, taking form. One day, you'll look back and realize that silence saved you from far more pain than any argument ever could. You'll see that your calmness made others expose themselves, that your stillness gave truth the space to unfold, that heaven stepped in on your behalf. You never had to do anything, only stand steady in the light of faith, refusing to let the noise pull you away from your center. Now, while the outer world keeps spinning, let your heart remain in its quietest place. Listen to your breath, to the wind brushing against the wall, to the steady rhythm of your heartbeat that is the rhythm of the universe, whispering that things are already shifting. And the moment you realize this silence is no longer frightening but sacred, something new will arrive softly, quietly, yet strong enough to change the entire story that follows. In the days when you thought you were truly alone, when the world was so silent you could hear the sound of your own heartbeat, something or someone was still there, standing quietly behind you. Not a person, but an energy gentle yet unshakable, silent yet powerful. It stands at your back like a wall of light, never loud, never seeking attention, only doing one thing, faithfully, without pause, protecting you. When you broke down in tears, that light didn't move. When you trembled under injustice, it surrounded you, never leaving your side. Some call it Archangel Michael, the warrior of divine justice. Others call it Chamuel, the spirit of compassion and unconditional love. Maybe you once prayed in silence or whispered a single plea before falling asleep, but that prayer was never lost. It was carried into the unseen, and from that moment, a force began to move, a force sent to guard you. No one can see them with their eyes, yet their fingerprints are everywhere in your life. They are the reason you turned away at the last second from something that could have hurt you. They are the reason a stranger's small kindness warmed your chest on a cold day. They are why you somehow kept standing when you swore you had nothing left. Those moments weren't luck. They were the hand of light, lifting you when you could no longer lift yourself. These beings don't fight with swords. They fight with frequencies of love, of truth. They dissolve the dark thoughts that cling to you. They reverse every silent curse, and they turn each dark intention into a mirror so that those who spread shadows are forced to see themselves. Every false word spoken against you becomes proof of your purity, because no darkness can endure once light grows strong enough to shine through it. The miracle is you don't have to earn this protection. It doesn't depend on worthiness. It simply is, because your soul belongs to the light. Guardians don't choose the perfect. They choose the brave, the ones who have fallen but still choose kindness. And by the way you've lived, you've given them reason to stay. Let your heart be still for a moment. Feel the air around you soft, almost warm, as if it's holding you. You might sense a faint breeze at the back of your neck, or a brief shiver that feels strangely comforting. That isn't coincidence, it's a signal, a whisper saying, you are not alone. The light is still there, watching, protecting, guiding. No matter how the world turns, no matter who misunderstands you, who turns away, or who speaks untruth, that light stands firm behind you, guarding the truest part of your soul. And in the very moment when you think everything has fallen apart, that's when they tighten their invisible embrace and whisper, "Be still, the light is working." Then, very quietly, something changes. A warmth spreads across your shoulders, a soft touch presses gently against your heart. A peace with no name fills you, real, overwhelming, tender. And in that moment, you finally know. You are loved. You are chosen. You are being kept here on this earth for something greater than pain. From that stillness, the story doesn't end. Because when the light has protected you, it also begins to clear the path ahead, leading you into the next phase of your awakening, where not only the darkness around you is washed away, but the wounds within you finally begin to heal. Every soul, at some point in its journey, must walk through a passage known as purification. Not everyone is ready for it, because this is the path of release, of shedding, of letting go of what once defined you. It's the path of endings that don't destroy, but rather prepare for the beginning of a new divine order. You may have already felt it. The things that once felt close to your heart have begun to feel heavy. The relationships that once brought comfort have gone quiet. Dreams that once burned brightly now seem dim, out of rhythm with your spirit. And you ask yourself, why is everything changing so fast? But Aries, the universe isn't taking anything away from you, it's returning your freedom. Collapse is not punishment, it's a cleansing ritual. Every door that closes isn't a loss. It's protection from what no longer fits your soul. The universe sees roads you haven't yet imagined, and when it forces you to pause, It's not cruelty, it's mercy. Imagine your soul as a garden. For years, you've planted so many seeds: love, work, dreams, responsibilities, even heavy connections you kept out of loyalty. And now, the garden has become too crowded. Light can no longer reach the ground. So the universe sends a wind called purification. It blows away the withered leaves, clears what blocks the light. Sometimes it makes you cry, but without that wind, your garden could never breathe again. This is the season of courage, the courage to accept what leaves. People may disappear without explanation. Plans may fall apart even after all your effort, but in that loss, a new order is taking shape. Everything that departs is simply making space for what is worthy to arrive. And what's coming for you, Aries, carries a repart, different vibration, lighter, clearer, truer. Don't resist the flow. Let things unfold. When you stop clinging, everything naturally returns to its rightful place. You are being cleansed, prepared to receive something greater, purer. Allow yourself to feel the pain, but don't fight it, because once you release, the old energy dissolves, and the new light rushes in like the first breath after a long storm. One morning, you'll wake up and realize you've become lighter. No more old worries, no more echoes of those who left, no more weight from what never became. Instead, there will be a still emptiness, peaceful, honest, the kind that only appears after the storm has passed. In that silence, you'll hear a small voice, the true self, whispering again, "It's time to begin," as who you really are. Purification isn't comfortable, but it always carries the light of healing. When you can stand in that wind without fear, you enter the strongest phase of your life, the one where the light in your heart grows bright enough to shine through your deepest wounds. And from the very place that once hurt the most, you'll see new sprouts rise of freedom, of compassion, of gratitude. Then, naturally, when you lift your head from the storm, you'll find the sky no longer dark. A new light shines through, not the blinding light of victory, but the soft glow of peace. And from that place, the story continues, drawing you deeper into the quiet where your soul is reborn, in the very stillness it once feared. Not everything that makes us fall is a punishment. Sometimes, it's a ritual of the soul, a quiet baptism, where you are cleansed of the ashes of what once was and prepared to step into a new layer of your own light. What's coming is not here to test you, it's here to rebirth you, like the final flame rising to burn away what no longer serves, returning you to your pure, powerful, original self. You will begin to see, clearer than ever before, the true faces of the world around you. Those who once seemed warm may turn distant. Those who stayed silent may suddenly appear as mirrors, reflecting back exactly what you need to understand. Every disguise, every illusion, every false smile will fall away, leaving only the soul strong enough to walk beside you. Do not be angry. Anger binds you to what you are meant to leave behind. Stand still in your own light, for only a calm heart can open the door of destiny. During this stage, your emotions may rise and fall like the sea after a storm. Some days you'll feel lighter, and then waves of memory will return to test your balance. But every tremor is necessary. It's your body releasing energies long suppressed. When the tears come, you are not weak. You're simply letting your soul breathe again after years spent behind its armor. This is the moment your inner light begins to bloom gently, but with unstoppable grace. You'll notice subtle changes, deeper sleep, slower breaths, softer trust. What once hurt you will lose its power, because now you see the meaning behind it. No pain is ever wasted. Each one is a sacred instrument the universe uses to teach you how to love yourself the right way. Allow yourself to be reborn in stillness. You don't need noise to prove you've changed. Live slower. Observe more. Listen more. Love more quietly, but more truthfully. That gentleness will become the clearest sign that you've been washed clean of your old fears. When you can look at someone without bitterness, When you can smile at what once broke you, that is the moment of rebirth. Don't seek recognition. True light needs no validation. It only needs space to shine. And you, Aries, are becoming that light not from the world outside, but from deep within your own heart. That light will lead you through every shadow that remains, through every misunderstanding, and into a place where your soul finally touches peace. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the new air filling your chest. Each inhale is a reminder you are still here, still growing, still evolving. You have walked through darkness, and now the darkness is only memory. Ahead of you lies a path that only you can walk, a path bright, not because it lacks challenge, but because you have become the light that guides it. And as that light rises, something remarkable happens. The world around you begins to shift. Everything feels gentler, more honest, more alive, like the sky after a storm, clearer, bluer, deeper. From this moment on, your journey is no longer about escaping fear. It's about walking with grace toward peace. Sometimes, before a new chapter begins, the universe sends you gentle signals as if testing whether your soul is ready to recognize them. You might start noticing the same numbers again and again on a clock, a sign, a receipt: 111, 333, 999. They may seem random, but they're not. They are the language of the divine reminders, whispering to the deepest part of your spirit that nothing ever happens by chance. A song you've never really noticed suddenly plays at the perfect moment, its lyrics speaking directly to you. An old friend reaches out unexpectedly, saying just one thing that makes your heart tremble. A dream keeps returning, repeating the same image, the same feeling. These aren't coincidences. They are fragments of a sacred message, soft directions from the universe, guiding you to realize that a new door is already opening. Someone or something from the past may return, carrying powerful, transformative energy. They're not here to pull you backward, but to close something left unfinished. It might be a late apology, a hidden truth, or a love that was never fully spoken. When it happens, don't react, just listen. Because what matters is not them, but you. How you respond will show how much you've grown, how deeply at peace you've become. The new door doesn't open through force, it opens through frequency, through readiness. When you stop resisting, when you stop asking, why? When you simply breathe and trust the universe begins to move on your behalf. Sometimes it doesn't open with a crash or a sign, but with a quiet ease in your chest. A morning when you wake up and realize you're no longer afraid. That's the moment the door opened and you didn't even know it. Spiritual signs never arrive to confuse you. They come to reassure you that you're on the right path. The universe speaks in its own way through wind, through birdsong, through brief encounters that echo in your heart for days. When you pay attention, the world begins to feel alive, communicating with you in every breath. Trust that you're being guided toward your true destiny, a path only you can walk. Everything that came before was a lesson, strengthening your soul for what's next. If you feel something ending, don't fear it. Every ending hides a beginning within it. And this time, you no longer need to look for signs, because you have become one. Your light, your energy, your faith, all of it is now sending a signal back to the universe, like an echo answering the call of those same numbers. You and the cosmos are speaking the same language, you just hadn't realized it until now. Once you start seeing through that lens, everything changes. Ordinary moments become messages. Simple conversations carry revelations. In the quiet of the night, you'll sense something moving not loudly, but powerfully, like the slow breath of a great door swinging open. So step through it, with a heart unbound, free of what was. Don't look back, everything behind you has completed its role. Ahead lies the path of your soul, where everything you thought you'd lost returns in a purer, stronger, truer form. From this moment on, destiny is no longer something you wait for, it's the light you're already walking toward. Every soul has a moment when it is finally seen. Not when it strives to be perfect, but when it steps out from the shadows of misunderstanding, carrying scars that have healed and a heart no longer afraid to feel. That moment is now yours. You stand at the threshold of divine recognition. After a long season of silence, you'll begin to sense a new current moving toward you. Opportunities, relationships, abundance, even attention all begin to return, but in a softer, more sacred way. No rush, no chaos. Everything flows slower, deeper, and with purpose. The universe is returning what has always been yours, not only material things, but dignity, value, and rightful place. This is no longer a season of misunderstanding, it is a season of honoring. Those who once doubted you, turned away, or underestimated you will now have to face the light of truth. They won't hear about you through whispers, they'll witness your steadiness with their own eyes. You won't rise by noise or revenge, but by calm presence. Because when real light appears, it doesn't shout. It simply shines, and everything false fades on its own. Perhaps you once felt abandoned, unseen, misplaced in the world. But that was the universe pulling you out of sight to recharge your energy for a greater return. Like winter secretly feeding the roots beneath the snow, you've been in a quiet preparation. And now, as the light breaks through, what you lost doesn't just come back. It returns renewed, brighter, more whole than before. Opportunities will find you again, but this time, you won't cling out of fear. You've learned that what truly belongs to you never needs to be chased. Money, projects, invitations, they will align with you naturally, drawn to your vibration. Because when you shine, the world gently reorients itself around your light. Still, the greatest recognition will not come from others, it will come from you. You'll look in the mirror and realize the person staring back is not who you once were. No rush, no resentment, only a gaze of peace and quiet strength. You no longer need to be celebrated because you've learned to celebrate yourself, and that is the sign of a mature soul. As your light expands, everything around you shifts to match it. New people appear, aligned opportunities arrive, closed doors unlock without effort, all of it a reflection of your inner frequency. The universe doesn't reward you, it mirrors you. And your frequency now is light pure, unapologetic, born to illuminate. Soon, some will come back not to apologize, but to admit they were wrong. Smile at them. Forgiveness is no longer something you do, it's something you are. You don't have to prove you were right. Time already has. Truth stands with you now, and divine justice has chosen you as living proof that goodness is never forgotten. From this moment forward, never fear your own light again. Do not shrink to fit inside someone else's comfort. You've walked through fire, and now you know how to rise without burning. Let your light travel far, not so others can see you, but so they can see themselves reflected in the strength that radiates from you. And while the world marvels at your quiet return, move gently. A new journey is unfolding, one where the light no longer just shines on you, but begins to shine from you, soft, steady, and eternal, illuminating the path destiny has been preparing all along. Not every storm comes to destroy. Some are sent only to wash the dust from your eyes so that you can finally see your own path clearly. What's coming for you is just like that. It isn't an ending, it's the beginning of a higher journey, a sacred elevation where your soul rises and every old wound turns into a seed of wisdom. Do not fear when the universe begins to move around you. Things are shifting, leaving, rearranging, not to confuse you but to restore divine order. You are not forgotten, Aries. You were never abandoned. Heaven is simply clearing what no longer fits so that you may walk lighter, steadier. Every delay has meaning. Every silence is part of the larger plan your soul agreed to long before you came here. Trust that every challenge you faced was a ritual of ascension. Nothing in your life has been random. Each person, each dream, each crack in your heart is a note in the symphony of your destiny. And now, as you emerge from the storm, the melody changes deeper, softer, yet filled with light. When you are silent, heaven speaks. When you no longer feel the need to prove yourself, the universe will place you exactly where you belong. Truth never has to shout, it only has to exist. And its light is enough to make even the doubters bow their heads. There are moments when human justice cannot reach, but divine justice never sleeps. Remember this: you were chosen, not because you are flawless, but because you've been broken, fallen, yet never lost your kindness in the dark. That's what makes heaven take notice. Every step you take now is guided, as if a hand rests gently on your shoulder, whispering, "Keep going. I am walking with you." When the light within you grows strong enough, good things begin to find you naturally. No pleading, no chasing. Just live with truth, with grace, with gratitude. Because gratitude is the language heaven hears most clearly. When you whisper thank you, even in silence, the universe answers back softly, "I see you, and I bless you." Now take a deep breath, Aries. Feel the warmth spreading in your chest, the gentle current of energy surrounding you. This is the moment you no longer need to search for the light, because you are the light. Your journey continues, but this time, not with fear, but with gratitude, peace, and trust in heaven's design. Thank you for your patience, for your courage, for opening your heart to this path. Thank you for believing in goodness, even when life gave you reasons to doubt. May you, brave Aries soul, always walk in light, always keep your heart pure amid the shifting tides of the world. I bow to your journey, to your strength, your stillness, and the radiant light that keeps growing inside you. Until we meet again, in another chapter where the light continues to guide you, and your heart will remember once more that everything that happens only to lead you home back to yourself.